Now, to be fair, this actually came to light in December, but the Speaker of the House, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, has billed the taxpayers more than £250,000 for trips abroad in the last 2 years. Bercow, who nobody really liked, managed to run up that amount of money in 10 years. Lindsay managed it in 2. It's like record breakers, isn't it, but for folk from Lancashire. I mean, I've got to say, with an accent like that, I'm sure that Lindsay, as a Labour MP, very left wing, wouldn't like to think he was having anything luxurious that the working class weren't getting, surely to God. He wouldn't want to think he were travelling first class. Oh, hang on a minute, he's travelling first class. The expenses show that he splashed out on 17 foreign jaunts in 24 months to October this year. That's when it was reported, so that's October 2024. Making him the most well-travelled common speaker in history. Oh, we've gone down in history. Bercow took 10 years to get to that amount. Critics say the extent of Sir Lindsay's globe-trotting would be hard to swallow for the taxpayers, given that his job is to largely sit in a chair and keep quiet. He'll have had to go first class, of course, to stretch them big long legs of his after sitting in that chair all day, won't he? Some people in the House of Commons have branded him Long Haul Hoyle. He's been swanning around like the Foreign Secretary. But Sir Lindsay defended his right to fly around and his tally of air miles, insisting that visiting parliaments in far-flung places in locations was an important part of his role sitting in a chair all day. Oh, Lindsay, well, I'm going to do this in words you can understand, so I'll use it in your local tongue, which obviously is Lancashire, where they have lots of things like hard up and hard working. They have a lot of R's in them words, because that's what folk are like. They're hard up and hard working. But Lindsay's having a good old stretch with those first class seats, hot fluffy towels to make you feel a bit fresher when you get there. A 5-day trip last July to the Cayman Islands was among the more eye-catching of the bills, totalling £22,785, which included £15,806 non-economy flights. Don't forget, he's a socialist. He represents the Socialist Party, where everybody's going to be treated equal. Will he have a word with Ryanair then? Because I can't help feeling that when we get on there, when we're trying to get our last flip-flop in our hand luggage to save paying to go in the hole, we don't feel like we're travelling like you, Sir Lindsay. Apparently the journey to the overseas territory of the Cayman Islands was a very important one to see how they ran things there. Why? Why do you need to know how they sit in their room, in their chair on the Cayman Islands? I bet they wrap it up for 10 o'clock in the morning. They're on bloody beach. Sir Lindsay also racked up £6,436 for accommodation and £544 for meals and drinks for him and 2 members of staff. Then there was the 9-day visit to South Africa and the island of St Helena. Isn't that supposed to be quite nice? It cost £23,000, including £21,000 for flights. The trip in February was to meet his St Helena counterpart and other officials. He also met British officials stationed in South Africa, according to officials. It's very official. Expenses detailed obtained under the Freedom of Information. Also, you didn't go like cough up. We had to go and find out for ourselves. We had to go and find out how a lad from Lancashire living it up. That's living it up, to folks who were saving up to go to Benidorm for a week. Some people are there showing off with the tickets on EasyJet for 45 quid, and you're there with them big long legs stretched out in first class. Oh, you must feel like you've hit the bloody jackpot with that job. Lindsay also paid £2,000 for flights to Gibraltar. The total trip cost £5,000. Do you know that if you go to Ryanair, you can get to Gibraltar for £39 if you just take your toothbrush? And if you just try and cram that last flip-flop in your hand luggage and you don't have any baggage in hold, you'll get there for so much more cost-effective ways. And being a socialist, wanting everybody to live the same level, I'm sure you'd want to project that image, wouldn't you, Lindsay? I don't know, you're a grand lad, aren't you, from Chorley, having all this life. I bet you never thought when you got that job sitting in that chair all day that it'd take you all over the world on these flights. A senior Tory MP who wished to be named nameless because he fears that if he found out who he was, he wouldn't get invited to be asked questions. Oh, that's not very democratic, is it? If you grass him up, he won't let you speak at question time. Said that an awful lot of swanning around for someone who isn't the Foreign Secretary and whose job is largely to sit in a chair and keep quiet. Well, that's clearly who Long Haul Hoyle thinks he is. The reality is that some people earn less in a year than these flights and bills, and Hoyle probably needs to bear that in mind. Oh, you do, you see. That fella there, I don't know who he is, but he's certainly on the money, isn't he, with that one? Yes, you see, the thing is, a lot of working class people who can't afford to go to Benidorm now, especially with them there heat pumps coming in and all the paraphernalia you're expecting us to buy, they're not going to be very pleased about lifestyle. You're like James Bond without the looks. You're a gravy training, sickening bunch.